exercise is called the twisted monkey. This is an enormous global stretch of the body that just doesn't stretch muscles, but gets a lot of fascia. It gets a lot of the spiral fascia that can make us feel tight and limit our ability to rotate or restrict the hips and the T-spine from moving well. So let's get to it. We're gonna go ahead and get down on all fours. We're gonna bring the left leg around front. From this position, what I wanna do with my right knee on the ground is just drive my left knee straight forward and drive my hips to the floor. And then I want to pull my shoulder blades down and back and elongate my neck. I'm going to take 2 to 3 full inhale, exhales right here, just letting that stretch happening. I'm getting some stretch inside my right groin and my hamstring. I feel some stretch in the front of my right thigh. After 2 to 3 full inhales and exhales, I'm going to go ahead and lift up my right knee, drive my right heel away from me, push my hips to the floor, and keep the neck elongated and the shoulder blades down and back. And again, I'm going to go through 2 to 3 full inhale, exhales. The next stage of this, I'm going to put my right knee back down, pick up my left hand, rotate my upper body to the left, reaching for the ceiling, getting my right shoulder out of my ear. I don't want to be collapsed in here like this. I want to lengthen and still driving the hips to the ground. For some of you who are more flexible, this is going to be way too easy. So we just keep the right knee off the mat. And we're pushing down into the floor with the hips, reaching for the ceiling, and really stretching out that spiral fascia. Hold that position for 2 to 3 inhale, exhales. If you want to put the right knee back down, you can. Take your right hand, move it forward. Take your left foot, move it away from you, and turn the toe 45 degrees away. What I'm going to do here is going to put my left hand on the inside of my knee, and I'm going to laterally push that away. Try to straighten my left elbow, and I'm going to turn my chest to the left and rotate my right hip down. This is where the twisted part comes in. So now I have a lot of stretch on the inside of my left leg. I feel that on the outside of my right hip. I've got my upper body rotated so my thoracic spine is moving to the left. And I'm going to breathe through this 2 to 3 times. I'm going to go ahead and walk my foot back in. If that's too, before I do that, if that's too easy, lift up the knee off the floor, and then I'm still in that same position. This gives me a much more intense stretcher. After you finish that, you're going to move the foot back in. I'm going to go ahead and anchor my left arm against my left shin, pick up my right hand now, and I'm going to rotate to the right. This is pretty intense, so keeping the knee on the floor is a good idea. Breathe through that. So now I've rotated my upper body in both directions. If it feels good in your body, you're going to reach around with your left hand when your right knee is on the ground. I'm going to grab a hold of my foot. This oftentimes causes a cramp in the hamstring. Try to work through that. I'm going to pull my heel into my butt, and I feel that stretch right down the front of my right thigh. If you don't feel anything, keep your heel on your butt, slowly lunge forward, and that will intensify the stretch in the front of the right thigh. 2 to 3 full inhale, exhales at least here. You can work up to holding this stretch for up to 30 seconds. That's going to give you a really good stretch in the upper part of your quad. And then slowly release your leg. Return your hand to the floor, swing that leg around. Before you go to do the other side, sit back in the child's pose and just kind of let everything settle out there. And then you would go ahead and swing the other leg around. Now, for those of you who have mobility issues, yoga blocks make this entire process much easier. You would go through it exactly the same way. Here it makes it a little bit easier to get forward. My back can stay nice and flat. You would go through the entire routine up on the yoga blocks. So I'm running through this kind of quickly right here because it's the same process. And then when I come back around to stretch my quad, I'm going to turn this yoga block up nice and tall. That's going to bring my upper body up nice and high. And I can reach around and grab that foot a whole lot easier. So if you're really super tight, work into this and get some assistance from the yoga blocks. This is such an awesome stretch. You will hate it the first time you do it. Keep doing it, and you'll be surprised how much your mobility will actually change in your entire body.